you mentioned that Doge is the people's coin.
Yeah.
And you said that you were literally SpaceX may consider literally putting a Doge coin on the moon. Is this something you're still considering? Mars, perhaps? Do you think there's some chance? We've talked about political systems on Mars, that Dogecoin is the official currency of Mars at some point in the future?
Well, I think Mars itself will need to have a different currency because you can't synchronize due to speed of light, or not easily.
So it must be completely standalone from Earth.
Well, yeah, because the Mars is at closest approach, it's 4 light minutes away roughly, and then at furthest approach, it's roughly 20 light minutes away, maybe a little more. So you can't really have something synchronizing. If you've got a 20-minute speed of light issue, if it's got a 1-minute blockchain, it's not going to synchronize properly. So Mars would. I don't know if Mars would have a cryptocurrency as a thing, but probably seems likely. But it would be some kind of localized thing on Mars.
And you let the people decide.
Yeah, absolutely. The future of Mars should be up to the Martians. Yeah, so part of the reason why I think there's some merit to Dogecoin, even though it was obviously created as a joke, is that it actually does have a much higher transaction volume capability than Bitcoin, and the costs of doing a transaction, the Dogecoin fee is very low. Like right now, if you want to do a Bitcoin transaction, the price of doing that transaction is very high, so you could not use it effectively for most things, and nor could it even scale to a high volume. And when Bitcoin was, started, I guess around 2008 or something like that, the internet connections were much worse than they are today, like order of magnitude. They're way worse, in 2008. So like having a small block size or whatever is, and a long synchronization time made sense in 2008. But to 2021 or fast forward 10 years, it's like comically low, it's and I think there's some value to having a linear increase in the amount of currency that is generated. So because some amount of the currency, if a currency is too deflationary, or should say if a currency is expected to increase in value over time, there's reluctance to spend it, because you're like, I'll just hold it and not spend it because its scarcity is increasing with time. So if I spend it now, then I will regret spending it. So I will just hodl it. Mm-hmm. But if there's some dilution of the currency occurring over time, that's more of an incentive to use it as a currency. So Dogecoin, somewhat randomly, has just a fixed number of sort of coins or hash strings that are generated every year. So there's some inflation, but it's not a percentage base. It's a fixed number. So the percentage of inflation will necessarily decline over time. So I'm not saying that it's like the ideal system for a currency, but I think it actually is just fundamentally better than anything else I've seen, just by accident. So,
can we return to dogs?
Sure.
No.
The other one's categorically forbidden?
Yeah, categorically forbidden. Is there any cryptocurrency based on cats, actually?
I think there are. There was Catcoin, there was Nancoin. For some reason, they just didn't catch on as much as the dog coins did.
Okay, so let's talk about Dogecoin and Elon Musk. Elon said that, quote, ideally, Doge speeds up block time 10x, increases block size 10x, and drops fee 100x. Then it wins hands down, end quote. You said in a blog post, partially responding to that there are subtle technical reasons why this is not possible. To this, Elon said that you, quote, fear the Doge. So let's talk about this. What are the technical hurdles for Dogecoin that prevent it from becoming one of the primary cryptocurrencies of the world? And do you, in fact, fear the Doge?
I definitely feel obligated to correct the record. I definitely do not fear the Doge.
Okay.
I love the Doge. I actually visited the Doge in Japan a few years back. It's she's an amazing dog. She's still alive.
Wait, the original Doge?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, we accept Doge every year for our annual DEF CON conferences. So I definitely, don't think Ethereum is opposed to Dogecoins. I kind of want to feel like, Ethereum is at least a little bit in spirit itself a Dogecoin. And then, as I mentioned, I love Doge. I bought a bunch of Doge. I still hold a bunch of Doge. On the scalability question, like the challenge basically is like the limits to scalability and the trade-offs with centralization, right? Like if you just increase the parameters without doing anything else, then it just becomes more and more difficult for people to validate the chain, and it just becomes more likely that the chain becomes centralized and becomes vulnerable to all kinds of capture.
Mm-hmm. So does it need like some of the layer 2 technologies that we've been talking about?
I personally think that, if Doge wants to somehow bridge to Ethereum and then people can trade Doge thousands of times a second inside of Loopring, then, that would be amazing. If they want to just like take ZK rollup style technology and just have thousands of transactions a second on their own chain, then that's, that would be a great outcome as well.
So is there ways for Ethereum and Dogecoin to work together? So, okay, so there's a power behind a person like Elon Musk pushing the development of a cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. Is there ways to leverage that power and that momentum to improve Ethereum, to improve some of the sort of cryptocurrencies that are already technologically advanced and pushing forward that kind of technology?
I definitely think there's room for...
that there's that meme of Doge like taking over, like that storm.
Yes, I've seen it.
Is there a way to ride that that storm, that wave of the Doge that's taking over?
I think if we could have a secure Doge to Ethereum bridge, then that would be amazing. And then when Ethereum gets its scalability, any scalability thing that works for Ethereum assets, you would be able to also like trade wrapped Doge with extremely low transaction fees and very high speed as well.
Is there precedence for building secure bridges between cryptocurrencies? How difficult is this kind of task?
It's definitely something that's in its infancy. There definitely have been some cross-chain interaction things that have been done before. The earliest is probably the concept of merge mining, right? When a chain just makes its entire proof of work algorithm dependent on the proof of work algorithm of another chain. And so I think famous Dogecoin actually merge mines to Litecoin, which is, I think in retrospect, not looking like a very good choice because now Dogecoin is bigger than Litecoin. If there's potentially some way for Dogecoin to merge mine with an Ethereum proof of stake of some kinds, then like that could be an interesting alternative. So that's one type of like chain interaction. As far as like bridges, like one chain reading another chain, early in Ethereum's history, there was this project called BTC Relay. It's a smart contract on Ethereum that just verifies Bitcoin blocks. I think people stopped really caring about and maintaining it because there just weren't enough applications that were actually interested in using it at the time, and the transaction fees got too high to actually maintain it. So I think if we want to make a BTC Relay 2.0 and that becomes cheaper because it uses snarks or something like that, then you probably could. But maybe now's the time when you actually can do that sort of one-way verification. But the one challenge, though, is that if you want to have a bridge that allows you to move assets between chains, then you don't just need one-way verification, you need two-way verification, right? And Ethereum can verify anything because Ethereum smart contracts can just run arbitrary code. But if you want Bitcoin to be able to do things based on what happens in Ethereum lands, then Bitcoin would have to basically, they can do everything with soft forks because that's their religion, but they'll do it that way. And if Doge wants to make a fork where that allows for like two-way transferability with Ethereum, then they could. I mean, I think that would be a lovely collaboration to make if there's interest. I think there might actually even be some multi-sig funds that has some funding. It's just a bounty for someone to make a bridge between the two.
Oh, could you maybe try to psychoanalyze Elon Musk for a brief second? So what are your thoughts about Tesla and Elon Musk's journey through the cryptocurrency world? So first with Bitcoin and then with Dogecoin. So holding a large amount of Bitcoin. And I believe, at least considering the acquiring and holding a large amount of Dogecoin. Positives, negatives. What do you think the future for Tesla and SpaceX in the cryptocurrency space looks like? Do you think they'll consider Ethereum?
I'm sure that if they stay in the cryptocurrency ecosystem at all, then they have to at some point. Right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin number 1, Dogecoin number. I mean, come on, it deserves to be number 3, and then or number 2, and then Ethereum can be whatever that other number is.
If Ethereum only becomes a dog coin somehow, maybe change the logo to incorporate a dog of some sort, almost like Doge, sneaking behind.
Oh, that would be fascinating.
When the merge happens.
And I think like Elon, you definitely, I think you would make a mistake if you were to kind of ascribe too much like sophisticated malevolent or any deep intentionality to the whole process. I think like he's just a human being and he likes dogs just like I like dogs.
Yeah,
right?
I think that is literally the reasoning behind the whole Dogecoin thing. There's some aspect to which, I mean, the guy helped launch a car into space, right? Like you could ask, like, what is the purpose of that? I think the purpose of that is fun. I think he truly is more and more, especially lately, embodying the whole idea that the most entertaining outcome is the most likely, and he's fully embracing the most entertaining outcome. And in many ways, Dogecoin is the most entertaining cryptocurrency. As cryptocurrency becomes more and more impactful in the world, people are getting more and more serious about it. And so he's selecting the cryptocurrency that is the least serious and the most fun. And there's something to that, like coupling fun with technological sophistication, and somehow figuring out a way to do that.
Absolutely.
To do that well.
And I want the world to be fun. I think the world being fun is great.
Let me ask for your deep financial analysis on a very important issue. I've just talked a couple of days ago with Elon Musk. He wants to put a literal Dogecoin on the moon. What are your thoughts about Dogecoin? And do you think it'll be the official currency? Maybe reserve currency on the moon and on Mars?
My reaction is, that's cute. I remember Elon when he first got his money from PayPal. I think he said to me it was he got $180 million, $90 million. He decided to say, why aren't we going to outer space? And he wanted to take a spaceship that would be modified using Russian technology to put a plant and a watering can on the moon, or on Mars, I think it was. And he said, first life on Mars, or first life on that, as an inspiring notion. And so then there's always what's behind it. I have a lot of respect for Elon's ability to do other things behind it. And so I would take that as symbolic, and I'd be asking him what's behind it. What's next?
And I'm also just on the topic of Dogecoin and meme coin, and there's some aspect of humor and lightheartedness that's really interesting about the way we communicate, what ideas become viral, how to captivate people with ideas. There's something about taking things too seriously that somehow slows it all down, and it's interesting.
You're right.
That's part of human nature somehow. So like humor is part of this whole thing. Arguments.
Right. No.
Will Dogecoin take over the world? Twitter question.
I don't follow the different coins that much, so I don't. I mean, I hear about Dogecoin, and I've kind of followed the story of it.
So the interesting aspect of Dogecoin is it. So in contrast to like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are these serious implementations of cryptocurrency that seek to solve some of the problems that we're talking about with smart contracts and resist the banks and all those kinds of things. Dogecoin operates more in the space of memes and humor, while still doing some of the similar things, and it presents to the world sort of a question of whether memes, whether humor, whether narrative will go a long way in the future, like much farther than some kind of boring old grounded technologies, whether we'll be playing in the space of fun. Like once we build a base of comfort and stability and like a robust system where everyone has shelter, everyone has food and the basic needs covered, are we going to then operate in the space of fun? That's what I think about Dogecoin, because it seems like fun spreads faster than anything else. Fun of different kinds, and there could be bad fun, and there could be good fun.
Yeah,
and so it's a battle of good fun.
It goes
bad
viral
fun.
very, very quickly if you post something that people find fun to.
Yeah, and that's what Dogecoin represents. So there's like, Bitcoin represents like financial, like serious financial instruments.
Yeah,
and then Dogecoin represents fun. And it's interesting to watch the battle go on the internet to see which wins. This is also like an open question to me of what is the internet, because fun seems to prevail on the internet, and is that a fundamental property of the internet moving forward when you look 100 years out, or is this a temporary thing that was true at the birth of the internet and it's just true for a couple of decades until it fades away and the adults take over and it becomes serious again?
Well, I think the adults took over initially, and then it was later on that people started using it for fun, frivolous things like memes. And I think that's pretty much unstoppable,
Yeah.
Because even people who are very serious, enjoy sending around a funny picture or something that amuses them.
Yeah, I personally think, we spoke about World War II, I think memes will save the world and prevent all future wars.
It's crypto scams being number one, but there's other scams too.
What about that coin, the Elon coin? Wasn't there an Elon coin that just blew up too?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's like everything coin.
What do you think about
Not
crypto?
really anymore though. That shitcoin phase kind of.
No, but it was actually this one like took off. I mean,
Yeah,
it still trades well. I think.
Oh, really?
I haven't looked in a while, but yeah.
Well, I have nothing to do with it.
I bought a lot because I thought it was yours, but
Dumbass.
took a huge L on that. so.
Dumb motherfucker.
What do you think of the crypto right now? The future, Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big ones.
You love Doge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm mainly supporting Doge, frankly, because I think Doge is like has the memes and dogs, and it seems like has a sense of humor and doesn't take itself too seriously.
But what's the potential with it?
Well, I do think actually, weirdly, even though Doge was just designed to be like this ridiculous joke currency, the actual total transactional throughput capability of Doge is much higher than Bitcoin, and the fact that there's 5 billion Doge created every year is actually, I think, good for using it as a transactional currency. Because
Where is it used as a transactional currency? Anywhere
you
right
can
now?
buy like Tesla merch and SpaceX merch with Doge,
Oh, nice.
and you can also pay for Boring Company rides in Vegas with
You
Doge.
pay for what?
Like, so Boring Company has tunnels under Vegas.
What?
Yeah,
I know Boring Company with the flamethrower, but I didn't know they had underground tunnels like that.
that's mostly what it is.
So what? You save time with traffic?
Yeah.
The
Then I
flamethrower was
I have to
merch.
get stuck on the strip in traffic.
And they're live available to use right now.
Yeah, just opened the one from like Resorts World.
So there's tunnels under Vegas.
We got to rip that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
cool.
Tesla's only, right?
Yeah, it's like Tesla's in a tunnel,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. That's
What
cool.
the fuck?
Yeah.